Was ist los? It's your German boy. Welcome back to Planetarian. Now, in the last episode, we went to battle with a giant autonomous war mech, and now we're gonna see the fallout. Because right where we last left off, it said, it all happened. Now, what is it exactly? Bear with me, guys. We're gonna see. Twin machine gun turrets slowly started to revolve as if they'd finally decided on something. She simply continued to walk towards the fiddler crab, step by step. I pressed the trigger. The fiddler crab's machine gun spat out flames. The 40mm canister arced through the threatening sky, trailing white fumes behind it. The line of 13mm machine gun rounds kicked up a path of water toward her like a murderous red serpent. The canister hit. I could see the fiddler crab's main cannon seeming to expand. The ammunition bay hatch blew asunder, letting smoke and leaping flames billow forth. The fiery serpent continued to crack toward her delicate body as if to eat her alive. And then... Nine. Nine! 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 I refuse! Why does it always end like this? Warum? Never have a happy ending in these things, can I? Jesus fucking Christ! Her body, torn apart by the bullets, danced in the air like a bird. The rain. Fuck you! The fiddler crab had fallen completely silent. As if it had returned to sanity at its last moment, it had swiveled so that the long barrel of its railgun was pointing toward the rift in the quarantine wall. However, that gun would never fire again. The ammunition inside the main armament had all been induced to explode, and black smoke was rising from the crevices in the armor plating. This was a sight that could be seen anywhere in this dead city. It was freezing cold, and my breath frosted white. The widely scattered wreckage was steaming in the rain. I walked forward, pulling my broken leg behind me and following the bullet marks in the ground. I finally arrived where she lay. Oh. Oh.
お客様、おかえりなさい。
Her shaking lips opened and clearly called out to me. You can still speak?
はい、緊急作動用電池に切り替えました。お客様、お怪我はございませんか？
I told you not to move until I returned! Why did you do such a stupid thing? Just as usual, she fucking smiled. Her fingertips, dirtied by the mud, gently trembling. Underneath fractures in her skin, a dark metallic frame was forlornly exposed.
暴走状態にあると思われる未登録機体に強制停止信号を発信しましたが受講されませんでした。
Your voice sounds different.
信号出力が弱い、もしくは受信側に問題が発生していると判断し、物理操作での緊急停止を試みましたが失敗しました。
These were her words, and yet these were not her words.
暴走状態にある機体は現在機能を停止していると思われます。
This was an incantation totally unrelated to the will that had been sealed within the depth of her main memory.
該当する機体から速やかに離れ、最寄りの警察機関、もしくはサポートセンターにご連絡ください。
After she said all this, she looked over at me once again and blinked as if she was relieved.
収容命令を破ってしまい申し訳ありませんでした。もっと古い約束事があるものですから。人間に危害を加えたり人間に危害が及ぶのを看過してはならない。私たちはロボットです。ですからこれは忘れることのできない約束です。これを守ることが私たちロボットの誇りです。
She said that it was her honor. That the instincts that human beings who had never cared about anything other than themselves had embedded into her was an honor.
お客様、お怪我はございませんか？お怪我はございませんか？
Oh, I'm fine. That was a hunch.
本当に良かったです。
Again, she smiled.
お預かりした雨具と花束はあちらの歩道に置いてあります。この道を少しお戻りになればすぐに見つかると思います。
She turned her neck as if to show me the way. Her eyes caught the wreckage of the battle mech.
彼に代わって心よりお詫び申し上げます。
Hey, you don't need to apologize for that Schwanzkopf.
きっと彼も壊れていたんだと思います。私たちロボットは人間の皆様の幸せのためにありますから、あのような乱暴なことは本当はしたくなかったんだと思います。私にはわかります。私も少しだけ壊れていますから。
More than a little? Fuck! I put my arm around her back just so I could hold her close. She shivered several times as if she was having convulsions. Her lower chest had been torn asunder by machine gun fire. We're together now. So many precise parts were dispersed through the rain, similar to entrails made of. Seems that if I tried to move her even just a little bit, I'd never move again. I wanted to fucking scream. I was just as broken as she was. There was still a squad of warmongers defending these ruins. Now that I had destroyed its vanguard, the remaining warmongers would be swarming toward this location. I was going to escape. The time was now. Despite this, here I was, unable to leave this place.
およそ600秒で緊急作動用電池が残量ゼロになります。バックアップ用電池が消耗しているので、その後は起動不能となります。メンテナンスコールを発信していますが受講されません。サポートセンターは現在通信不能です。緊急用サテライトコールを発信していますが中継衛星が見つかりません。少しだけ心細いです。
You don't fucking say! said as if in jest, continuing to smile the same as ever. She was listening to empty space with her antennas that were no longer of any use. She was calling for aid that would never come no matter what! I found that I was unable to bear watching her do this! You don't have to call anyone! I'll save you!
ですが
I'll fucking repair you, god damn it, so! White sparks flew as the rain hit the exposed machinery in her chest, now bereft of insulation or lead sheet. As if she were following my gaze, she said with embarrassment,
お見苦しくて申し訳ありません。ですがご安心ください。私はロボットですから苦痛を感じることはありません。筐体を修理することもできますし、新しい筐体に交換することもできます。
Yet her tone and facial expression seemed to me to be in the deepest of agony. I already knew. Engineers would be able to repair her, as well as the new enclosure she wanted. Even those people who needed her. They were all things that had disappeared from this world. Go. She smiled. I looked up at the rain for some time. Then she turned to face me again.
そのようなお顔をされては私はとても困ってしまいます。私はロボットです。
I don't give a fuck!
お客様の笑顔が一番大切です。それなのにお客様に失礼ばかりしています。
Bullshit! The sound of her motors echoed like bitter wheezing. She bent herself back quietly and then proudly showed me a nameplate glinting in the rain.
ですが皆さん喜んでくれます。また来るね、ゆめみちゃんと私に言ってくれます。私はみんな覚えています。
If I could hold back the rain, would you numb the pain? 'Cause I remember everything. If I could help you forget, would you take my regrets? 'Cause I remember everything.
私はロボットですから覚えておくのは得意なんです。少しだけお見せしますね。
The lenses installed in both her ears began emitting faint light. This was the holographic videotape playback mechanism she was so proud of. A spherical screen like a crystal globe coalesced around the breast of her crumbling uniform. The focal axis of the lenses must have been skewed by the gunfire, but I could see the projected images ring and flickering.
星野ゆめみです。とても素敵な名前をありがとうございます。
Her voice flowed from a set of speakers close to her ears. I did a double take and focused as intently as I could on the image being displayed. There were a lot of people. The projection room was packed with people, and every chair in the room was filled. This scene was one that she recorded through her own eyes.
一生懸命頑張りますのでどうぞよろしくお願いします。
The entire projection room shook with the sound of applause. Next, a very young girl in a long skirt came up close. In her arms, she was holding a bouquet that was about as large as she was.
ゆめみちゃん、はいどうぞ。
Girl stood up on her tiptoes and presented the bouquet.
ありがとうございます。
Then another thunderously hearty round of applause.
私の就任式です。全部で1263人の方々が私の名前を考えてくださったんです。その中から館長さんとスタッフの皆さんが一つだけ選んでくれたんです。それが星野ゆめみです。私はとても気に入っています。他の1262人の方々がつけてくださった名前もとても気に入っています。
Spherical screen faded, and the figure of the young girl vanished. As I frantically strained my eyes, I could see an even frailer scene starting to play. Two people were standing in front of her as if they were getting a souvenir photograph taken.
ゆめみちゃん、綺麗な星をありがとう。今度は友達みんなで来るから、それまで元気でね。
Next, a well-built male customer.
次は結婚記念日に妻を連れてきます。
It was all he said as he gently loved her. Then an entire sequence of people appeared and vanished.
子供の頃のような素晴らしい星空でした。来年の今日にもきっとロボットさんに会いに来ますね。
星のことがいろいろ分かって面白かったです。夏休みの自由研究にはゆめみちゃんのことを書こうと思います。
めちゃめちゃ綺麗ですっごく感動しました。絶対また来ます。子供が途中で泣いちゃってごめんなさいね。ほら、ロボットのお姉さんにごめんなさいわ。
ゆめみちゃん大好き。
Every single person had words of thanks and a kind smile for her. Every single person promised from the bottom of his or her or their heart they would definitely come again.
ありがとうございます。またのお越しを心よりお待ちしています。
No matter how old or of which sex the customer was, she invariably responded thus and bowed deeply. That is why this particular projection ended with a close-up view of the floor. These were all her precious memories. They were all maddening visions of a time when the world was still moving in the right fucking direction, when people were still reaching out toward the stars. Again, the image wavered and then shifted into a completely different one. The background was the reception area of the planetarium. It seemed like she was bending over a little. She was engaging two small silhouettes at their level.
お父さんとお母さんの星はどこ?
The silhouette screaming like a young girl was looking intently into the camera.
お尋ねの星の正式な名前か座標はお分かりになりますか? お父さんとお母さんの星。
Silent at that.
お父さんとお母さんの星はまだ新しいからゆめみちゃんも知らないんだよ。
The other and slightly larger silhouette answered from the other side. This would have to have been a little girl and her big brother.
ゆめみちゃん、そうだよね。
はい。超新星や彗星などが出現した場合は、私のデータベースにはすぐには反映されない場合があります。誠に申し訳ありません。
She again bowed politely.
お父さんとお母さんはマレーネタリクスで働いてるんだよ。
マレーネクタリスだよ。ネタリクスじゃなくて。
そうですか。とても立派なお仕事ですね。
この前の事故で2人とも死んじゃったんだけど。
Big brother fell silent with that. I wanted to reach out my hands to them, but my body would fucking move. The feeling was maddening. For I knew these were images captured during a summer 30 years ago. In that hologram, the big brother and little sister were still unaware of the true nature of the tragedy. The military invasion of the moon's second port at Mare Nectaris was first announced to the public as a problem with the power reactor. Thousands of people had vanished just like that, and the government concealed the truth with an iron grasp over the media. But even then, that was nothing more than a prologue for what was to come. Not 1 month after that, war began to ravage the entire earth.
お父さんとお母さんはお星様になったんだよ。だからお兄ちゃんとここに見に来たの。そうなんですか。今日はご満足いただけましたか？うん、とっても綺麗だった。いつでも見に来てくださいね。イエナさんはとても素晴らしい性能ですから、いつでも綺麗な星をお見せできます。お父さんとお母さんの星につきましてもきちんと調べておきますので。
うん、この次はおじさんに行ってちゃんとお金もらってくる。
ゆめみちゃん、またね。はい、ありがとうございます。またのお越しを心よりお待ちしています。
A clicking sound came from her right ear. His brother and sister rippled like vanished, and a different image came into focus. It was the projection. I could see the silhouette of the projector slanting diagonally in the midst of a dim background. There were 5, maybe 6 adults standing around her. Everyone was holding something in his or her hand. It was obvious that these were the rough gas masks that were in general use during pre-war days.
館長さん、ただいまイエナさんに異常があるようです。
Her voice said.
南天および北天の恒星電球が取り付けられていません。次回の投影まであと22分ですので、早急な対処が必要と考えます。
大丈夫だよ、ゆめみ。何も心配することはない。
Silhouette that was standing directly in front of her, perhaps a middle-aged man, replied thus. It was in a voice that made it seem as if he was trying to tell himself the same thing.
ゆめみちゃん、よく。
Another voice said. A young woman's voice, it seemed.
私たちね、しばらくみんなで旅行に行くことになったの。
はい、ご旅行ですか。それは素晴らしいですね。
それでね、ゆめみちゃんには留守番をお願いしたいの。私たちが帰ってくるまでここで待っていてほしいの。
Even from the small, tiny speakers of the holovid player, I could tell that the young woman's voice was shaking.
わかりました。皆さんがお戻りになるのはいつでしょう。
She asked, her response not having changed at all from its usual routine. After a short silence, another voice answered her.
まだわからないの。
The image became very slightly slanted. She was cocking her head in doubt as she would normally usually do in such circumstances.
それでは皆さんの休暇は無期限ということですか？
そうね。長くなるかもしれないし、すぐに帰ってくるかもしれない。
ご旅行先はどちらでしょう？きっととても楽しいところなのですね。
She probably had that same warm smile on her face as she said this. As if to represent all the members of the staff who had fallen silent, the man that she called Mr. Manager now opened his mouth.
いいかい、夢見。私たちは必ず戻ってくる。誰一人欠けることなく、必ずここに戻ってくる。その時はまた一緒に働いてくれ。
はい、館長さん。
ゆめみちゃん、またね。
またな、夢見。
必ずまた会えるから待っててね、夢見。
ゆめみちゃん。
Lee flung her mask to the ground and popped the robot in an embrace.
こんなのおかしいよ。間違ってる。間違ってるよ。だって置いていけないよ。ゆめみちゃんを置いてくなんて。そんなの。そうやってゆめみちゃん、私たちの仲間だよ。友達だよ。私たちの中で一番働き者なんだよ。私たちとゆめみちゃん、何にも違わないよ。ゆめみちゃん、こんなところ置いてけるわけないよ。
私はロボットです。私には休暇は必要ありません。ですが、皆さんには休暇は必要だと考えます。
ゆめみちゃん。
Go broke down crying at some point. Screaming down her face.
ごめんね、ゆめみちゃん。こんなところに一人ぼっちで。ごめんね。ごめんね。
And she told me alive! She took her voicemails with so much lament that it was if her entire body would burst asunder from the strain. That propagated outwards and swept off the members of the staff until I mean, fucking look at me right now! Fucking look at me right now! Hologram must have been recorded immediately after the germ bomb bombardment of major cities of the world. They would now have to flee from the city with just the clothing on their backs and nothing else. They were not permitted to bring any equipment at all along with them.
皆さんはなぜお泣きになっているのでしょう。
Take a fucking guess! Leave the goddamn room!
私はまた何か粗相をしましたでしょうか。
It's not your fucking fault! It's not your fucking fault!
したでしょうか。だとしたら本当に申し訳ありません。
Not your fucking fault!
ゆめみちゃん、違うの。違うの。ただね。
Another somewhat calmer voice, albeit one still filled with tears, answered.
一緒に行けたらいいのにって。ゆめみちゃんと一緒に行けたらきっと楽しいのになって。そんな風にね。
And the same fashion with the staff member, this voice is filled with tears.
私のことでしたらどうぞお気遣いなく。
Brightly, as if nothing had changed from usual at all.
私はいつまでも待てますから。イエナさんと一緒にいつまでも待てますから。どうぞ留守は私にお任せください。粗相のないように一生懸命頑張ります。皆さんどうぞ楽しいご旅行を。
It
71日前の記録です。当館の初投影以来44年と138日が経過しています。もうすぐ250万人目のお客様をお迎えするんです。当デパートの1階に青果売り場が一番綺麗な花束を注文しないといけません。
Her voice growing softer, intermittent. Lane was quietly sulking her mud-covered uniform.
お客様、お話ししていいですか？
Yeah! What is it?
お客様がいらっしゃるまで私は何度も考えました。館長さんやスタッフの皆さんはいつ戻ってくるんだろう。次のお客様はいついらっしゃるんだろう。何度もそう考えました。するといつも同じ結論が出ます。人間の皆様はもう戻ってこないという結論です。でもそんなはずはありません。きっと私は壊れているのだと考えました。自己診断プログラムを実行して異常を探しました。でも異常はどこにも見つかりませんでした。きっと自己診断プログラムに未知のバグがあるのだと考えました。
Silent for a while, returning her gaze back up to that fucking rain.
お客様がいらっしゃった時、私は本当に嬉しかったです。やっぱり私は間違っていたんだ。お客様は私のことを忘れてはいなかったんだ。そう考えて本当に嬉しかったです。でも違ったんですね。
Bullshit! Fucking bullshit! Her cervical vertebral motor made a muddy sound and her neck moved slightly.
私は壊れてなくて、壊れていたのは
Eyes of optic resin reflected the world around her. Darkened sky, the earth soaked in Regan. These ruins destroyed in the image of man.
どうして壊れてしまったのでしょう。
The rain gave no indication of stopping, not even now. She gently smiled up at me as I sat there, unable to say a word.
もう一度だけ記録可能です。お客様、当館にお越しになった記念にぜひ一言どうぞ。
Looked into my noggin, and now I understood. Not a single person, not a single fucking person at all had told the truth. To this little robot in the shape of a young woman, to this little existence which had been created by man for the service of Mensch und Menschalein. Very well. Listen closely.
はい。
To tell you the truth, I came to get you.
と申しますと、
And she inclined her head just a little bit in her usual doubt. Beyond that wall lies your new workplace. I pointed my finger at the looming quarantine wall. out at the uninhabited, submerged wasteland that lay beyond the quarantine wall. Your partner projector, as well as your colleagues, they are all waiting there. Your customers are packed into a full fucking house waiting for you. Everyone is awaiting your commentary with great anticipation. You'll be working there from this day forth. You'll be able to work at what you want forevermore. The rain continued to fuck you! She didn't reply at all. As if she were gathering the last of her power, she narrowed her eyes slightly and stared out at where I was pointing. Then she whispered,
それはまるで天国のようですね。
Yeah. I nodded. Yeah. So it is. She looked at me attentively and calmly. She again lapsed into silence. Her artificial pupils trembled slightly as if she were gazing at something behind me.
お客様、私のお願いを聞いていただけますか？
Sure. What is it?
私のイヤーレシーバーの後ろ側にスロットがあります。私のメモリカードが挿入されています。私の記憶はすべてそれに記録されています。全部が素晴らしい思い出ばかりです。それを新しい職場に届けていただけますか？新しい筐体を用意していただければ、私はその日から業務を始められます。私はいつまでも人間の皆様のために働くことができます。ですから本当のことを申しますと、私には天国は必要ないんです。
She said, smiling with absolute innocence.
ですが、もしもどうしても私を天国に召されるのでしたら、お客様、どうかお願いです。天国を2つに分けないでください。ロボットと人間の2つに分けないでください。私はいつまでもいつまでも人間の皆様の
I understand. I'll take you there, I answered. She fell silent for a short time, each second of which was an eternity.
ありがとうございます。とても嬉しいです。
Her eyelids started to shake, bit by bit, but her eyes remained open. She was probably unable to close them.
お客様、どちらにおいででしょう。
She tried to turn her neck, but even that no longer worked.
お客様、そちらにいらっしゃいますか？
Unable to focus her eyes.
どうしてでしょう。私はやはり壊れているみたいです。
You dang! Jesus fucking Christ!
私は電 カバンなので涙
Oh,
が
fuck.
流せないのですが、もしも機能が搭載されていたら、きっと泣いていると思います。涙が止まらないと思います。私はとても嬉しいのに、幸せな気持ちでいっぱいなのに、どうしてでしょう。私は壊れているみたいです。
Rain, streams of water are flowing. It was almost as if she really was.
お客様、私は雨の日がとても好きなんです。雨の日はお客様がたくさん来てくれます。いつお客様が来てもいいように万全の体制でお迎えしなければなりません。プラネタリウムはいかがでしょう。どんな時も決して消えることのない美しい不朽のきらめき、満天の星々が皆様をお待ちしています。プラネタリウムはいかがでしょう。どんな時も決して消えることのない美しい不朽のきらめき、満天の星々が皆様をお待ちしています。プラネタリウムはいかがでしょう。どんな時も決して消えることのない美しい
Her lips opened as if to speak again, and then something akin to a smile floated up to her dimmed eyes. She stopped. She was looking up at the rain that she loved so much. She was staring so happily up at it, as if she would never in all eternity tire of it. Freezing cold vegan was falling. Gently brushed her wet hair aside with her fingertips and searched around her ears. The slot had been unlocked and the plastic memory card was sticking out waiting for me to take it. She'd probably released the card at her last moment. I gently pulled the memory card out of the slot. Then I lay her body down. The memory card was about the size of a cigarette pack and was slightly warm. That warmth evaporated away slowly in the middle of my hands. I retrieved my waterproof cigarette case from inside my cloak. I put the memory card inside and sealed that shit shut. pipe. Through the gaps in the rain, I could hear treads and mechanized feet coming in my direction. The sound of the hunter-killer whoremongers. I looked up at the sky that was stormy without end. Then, I dropped my grenade launcher into a puddle. I would not need such a thing. Not where I was going. The rain was still falling, even now. Her heart was secure next to mine. I began to walk. Where were the stars now? Where would I have to go in order to see them? I walked forth into this fractured world, yet my thoughts were forever on the sky. Das ist? I think we've reached the end, guys. Well, I just want to thank you guys for riding with me this whole time, right from the bottom of my heart. It's been a great ride, but I guess this is the end of it. So I'll be back with another thing, and one day we'll get that happy ending we so deserve. Till next time, it's been your German boy. Auf Wiedersehen. Für jetzt, Prost und auf Wiedersehen.